Hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 3 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. My name is Randie Henderson, and I am one of the Black Feminist Reading Circle members of this online group. This session runs from January 20th until June 2nd and includes 2 week-long breaks. Our democratically selected reading material is Harriet A. Washington's book, Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present. Our book group meets each Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 8 on the Google Plus Hangouts on Air platform. You may find the Global Black Feminist Reader Circle on Google Plus, YouTube, and Facebook, and always feel free to join us in reading our story together.
I'd like to welcome everyone to, this is meeting 17 of the Global Black Feminist Reading Circle. This is our final chapter, almost our final chapter of our reading of Medical Apartheid, The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present by Harriet A. Washington. And tonight our chapter is 15, Aberrant Wars, American Bioterrorism Targets Blacks. Yes. I'd like to remind if we have any viewers, they can watch us on the links or they can catch up later on Google Plus or YouTube, Facebook. Our sessions run until June 18th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Let's introduce all our members here tonight. Let's start with Randie.
Hello, my name is Randie, and I am watching from Atlanta, and we'll be telling everybody what book will be chosen for the next session at the end of this session.
All right. Thank you, Randie. And Edwina?
Hi, my name is Edwina. I'm watching you from Utah.
All right. Thank you, Edwina. All right. And Venita?
Hi, my name is Venita Walker, and I'm joining you from Connecticut. Welcome.
Thank you. And Michelle?
Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Michelle Odom, and I'm located in Brooklyn, New York.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. Okay, I see we have Joel Jones has joined our discussion. Joel, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Joel Jones. I'm calling you from, I'm on assignment in Virginia, IA, doing a little marketing for my little festivities I got coming up, but I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
And I'm Georgette Moses. I'm your moderator from this evening, and I'm located in the South at the beach. And that's all I'm going to say. All right.
In this final chapter, Washington presents us with more examples of covert forces and government organizations targeting blacks for use as human guinea pigs and extermination. Since the 1940s, chemical and biological weapons have been developed for specific use against ethnic groups in a U.S.-mediated bioterrorism perpetrated by American scientists at home and abroad. White supremacy groups from Arkansas to Rhodesia had access to these poisons, chemicals, and biological weapons as they expressed their murderous ethnic hatred. The joint U.S. Army-CIA project, MK-NAOMI, and South Africa's Project Coast facilitated the current use of refined, weaponized biological and chemical agents by South Africa, the Soviet Union, Israel, and Iraq. Despite the 1963 Geneva Convention ban, More benign weapons exist, like the mother of all stink bombs used by the London police, that are genetically tailored to specific ethnic groups. However, such precision may not always be necessary if existing variations in genetics, lifestyle, habits, health profile, and diet are effectively exploited.
And Randy, can I get you to read A, sections 1, 2, and the questions, please?
Okay. A. MK-NAOMI, CIA targeted bioterrorism. Carver Village, Florida. In 1951, the state of Florida built a 466-unit minority housing development in Miami. It was the largest and most impressive in the nation and desegregated a larger white housing complex. It attracted the unwanted attention of the Ku Klux Klan, resulting in rallies, lynchings, drive-by shootings, and bombings. It also provided the U.S. Army and the CIA with subjects to test their first strike biological weapons on. 4 million weaponized mosquitoes per day were bred and released around Florida and Carver Village, exposing these residents to various infectious diseases. By 1960, they were plagued by many mysterious illnesses, including whooping cough, dengue and yellow fever, and deaths. Question 2. Point 2. Carver Village, Georgia. Dorothy Pelosi recalls how in 1955, under the guise of doing a study on mosquitoes, young white men convinced residents of her all-black complex to allow traps to be placed in their backyards. Residents began getting sick and dying. Finally, in the 1980s, it was revealed that they had been used as human guinea pigs to prove that infected mosquitoes will make an effective biological weapon against the Soviets. MK-Ultra director Dr. Sidney Gottlieb attempted to destroy all of the evidence, but the diligent investigations of the Church of Scientology's American Citizens for Honesty in Government found enough to create a report proving the deadly campaign against Black Floridians. Question 1. For years, the CIA denied it had unleashed biological agents on American citizens. They destroyed evidence. No one was punished. Why? Question 2. Do you believe it was just a coincidence that both of the housing complexes used in the experiments were named after Dr. George Washington Carver, America's best-loved scientist?
Thank you. And you can answer any one or both of those questions if you like.
You know, the second one, it made me think of, I know y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe you do. Mikey's really into the League, Justice League, you know, Batman, Superman, all the heroes. And Batman created like a kill plan for all the superheroes just in case they got like over their head or whatever. Not necessarily to kill them, but to kind of make them like neutral. To kind of because you know they could potentially take over the world if they decide to go evil. Well, I was just thinking, you know, maybe Dr. George Washington Carver had had thought of these experiments, you know, but never, of course, ever, you know, took them out on people. But maybe that was like a weird twist in, and maybe they found his old George Washington Carver notes. But I doubt that was the case. I just maybe to, I don't know, not dampen it, but you know how they have like some of the worst schools and the worst neighborhoods are named after Martin Luther King Jr. And that's another way I look at it. Like you name these housing complexes and these experiments over, you know, these experiments after Dr. George Washington Carver, and I don't know, to make people feel like it was, you know, for a good cause when it's really not. So those are my two theories.
Very interesting. I kind of like that. Hey, I thought That's pretty good. Thank you, Randie.
You're welcome.
All right, Joel, we are on questions 1 and 2 of A. Since you're, if you have an answer to either of those questions.
A1 or 2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, George Washington Carver Village, for the CIA did not unleash biological agents on
I,
American
I would just say while Joe was catching up,
Okay.
you know, all of those neighborhoods that Randie's talking about weren't necessarily the worst. You know, they weren't in the shape that they're in today when they got named after Martin Luther King. You know, there's been a lot of deterioration for various reasons, but that's one thing. The Carver, I don't know. That's an interesting question, Georgette. I felt like when I read the question that, you know, it was a way of mocking Black people. The Army and CIA, you know, kind of taking someone who we considered, you know, one of our best of the best, and you know, and using that name to just add another layer of humiliation. So.
Yes, that's kind of what I thought too. Anybody else have a comment or?
I just wanted to interject on question 1. For years, CIA denied they had unleashed biological agents on American citizens. And it goes on to say they destroyed evidence. No one punished. Why? I heard a conversation given by a prominent Black person in the community about chemtrails that are being released by, you know, the rockets you see in the air, and you see these, when you look into the sky, you see all of these different types of trails of left by rockets or jets in the air. And you know, sometimes I wonder if this person was telling the truth, whether these chemicals were being released in specific communities to cause a reaction.
Yes.
That's just one theory I heard.
Well, I've heard that too. I've heard it from a lot of documentaries also, Edwina. Does anybody else have something they'd like to add?
I
Go ahead.
don't necessarily believe it had anything to do with the George Washington Carver conflict. I think it was opportunity. I think there was a large number of Black folks to be had at this complex. I think that we might be looking too far into it. I think they were probably more concerned about the experiment than actually the name behind the complex. I just think it was opportunity. And in our reading in the past, most things that were done were just opportunity.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
That's what I believe.
They did take advantage.
You know, I didn't think about it until I saw the question, but you know, really, if you think about it, there was a lot of opportunity. You know, there's no problem finding Black folks in the South.
No.
So, you know, why would you you know, specifically. Well, first of all, she says there were hundreds of dispersals
Yes.
of these mosquitoes. So Harriet Washington is the one that chose to highlight the coincidence of one being called Carver Village in Miami and another in the Savannah area. But so, you know, it probably really was just a coincidence, and Harriet's the one that pointed it out. But, you know, but I don't know. I mean, there's no problem finding black people in the South, and so, you know, the government could have just as easily skipped one as the other. But they didn't, you know, they didn't. So we don't know. You know, it's just one of the things we don't know. So I thought it was an interesting question, Georgette. You know.
Well, that's just my conspiracy theory mind at work.
Yeah.
Can't
Well,
help it.
you know, and after this reading,
Yeah, a lot less theory.
that's right.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Michelle. Joel, did you want to add on to that before we move on, or?
Well, I'm still trying to catch up. Y'all keep on going. I'm just a little southern boy from the South. I'm just trying to catch up with all you northerners.